Hi, everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, September 20th, 2020, and welcome to the week that Amanda officially morphed into Hillary. I could not keep my eyes off of her all week long, walking around town in that hot pink one-shoulder number. That hot pink one-shoulder number was a blouse that Hillary would have worn, bright blazing pink with one shoulder exposed. I could almost see her hosting GC Buzz in that. Like, Amanda has been buttoned up tight ever since she got into Genoa City, and then the week that she finds out she's Hillary's twin sister, she pops on that hot pink one shoulder number, and I was like, yes! Here we go! Finally, right? Nate hands over Amanda's DNA test results to her, and she doesn't even bother to share the news with him. She just runs right out to find Devon so that Devon can be the first to know. Like, once again, forget Nate. Like, Nate is just the guy who noticed your rare blood type and the same similarity to Hillary's. Nate's just the guy who suggested the test, then expedited it, and then hand-delivered you the results. Yeah, forget that guy. Leave him hanging. Don't even give him the answer. She runs right to Devon, and she declares proudly to him that she had a twin sister named Hillary. And Amanda had a million questions for Devon, such as, what was Hillary like? And would we have been friends? Can you believe that that was our poll question from last week? I asked you guys if you thought that Hillary and Amanda would be friends or enemies, and 54% of you thought that Hillary and Amanda would be friends. I really appreciate that positivity from the Y&R Chat community. You see Hillary and Amanda as getting along. I voted in the minority, although it's not a wide gap. 46% of you felt that these two ladies would have been enemies. Maybe it would have been a little bit of both. Maybe they would have started out as enemies and become friends and then gotten to be enemies again while they were fighting over Devon. Can you even imagine if that had been the case? Hillary and Amanda, twin ladies, fighting over Devon with him in the middle. That would have been some crazy storytelling. That would have had to have some tricky camera work. But it would have been crazy in a good way. I can kind of imagine it. Devon was clearly uncomfortable trying to answer all of Amanda's questions. I think on the one hand, Devon wants to be helpful to her, but on the other hand, Devon has spent the past year, probably longer than a year, just trying to find a place in his mind where all of those memories of Hillary and where his love for Hillary can live. Devon just wanted to be able to put Hillary in a peaceful and healthy place in his mind, and now all of the pieces are being tossed around again, and he doesn't know where to put them. Elena doesn't quite know where to put herself either. As soon as Nate told Elena that the DNA test results were in, and that Amanda was at the penthouse with Devon giving him the results, Elena wanted to run to Devon immediately. She wanted to bust up in there and be up in the middle of whatever was going on between them. But Nate talked Elena into pulling herself back, giving Devon and Amanda a little bit of space. And Nate sits down to talk with Elena and goes out of his way to reassure Elena that Devon loves her. That there are a million reasons why Devon loves her. And Devon is right to love her. Okay, Nate, tell us more about all of the reasons that Elena is lovable. Nate's like listing off all of Elena's amazing qualities, and then he has to get up from the table and excuse himself to go get another cup of coffee. His voice practically cracked. He was standing there like a teenager who had to use a school book to cover up the front of his pants talking about Elena. I mean, yes, Nate. Yeah, we know how amazing you think Elena is. You're not fooling anyone. Well, when Elena finally did get home, she ended up walking right into the middle of Devon telling Amanda all about, his feelings for Hillary. I mean, Amanda was firing a ton of feelings at Devon, and so he was firing his feelings back. And not only did Amanda have a million questions about Hillary's life, but Amanda was also commenting on how it felt just standing there in her sister's home. Well, I'm sure that Elena was thinking, hey, lady, this is my home now. And rightfully so. Amanda was getting so carried away, just having even that slightest little bit of information about something that has been a mystery to her for her entire life. For Amanda, Hillary is happening in the present and potentially in the future. But for Devon, all of this happened in the past, and it's not easy for him to just conjure up all of his feelings and memories at Amanda's will. So Elena sees that Devon is stressed out by what's going on, which, for as much as I like Amanda, and I feel for her excitement and her inquisitiveness, and I'm excited about her story and her journey, I think that Amanda was not being particularly sensitive or picking up on the fact that Devon was practically cold sweating to answer all of her questions. So Elena politely asks Amanda to leave. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Elena even had to ask Amanda twice to leave. And I would have done the exact same thing, seeing how unnerved Devon was by it all. So Amanda leaves, and Devon and Elena sit down so that Devon can explain himself and talk about how he said what he said because it's true, but he at the same time sees Hillary as being part of his past. He sees Elena as being his future, but it is going to be hard for Elena to believe that and to accept that. I think Elena has always felt like she was competing with a ghost. And now there's somebody out there who's walking around with Hillary's face and Hillary's eyes, wearing Hillary's hot pink one shoulder number. I mean, if Devon is already attracted to Amanda's physical beauty because she looks exactly like Hillary, then it wouldn't be hard for him to also find things about Amanda's inner beauty to be attracted to. I mean, everybody's attracted to Amanda. Everybody at ChanceCom is in love with Amanda, so why shouldn't Devon be? Theo was singing Amanda's praises to Billy this week, and Billy had the nerve to ask Theo if he likes Amanda. I mean, does he like Amanda? Like, does he like Amanda, or does he just like Amanda? Circle your answer and put it on my locker after lunch. It's so immature. It's so immature. All Theo did was compliment Amanda, and Billy got all paranoid, like Theo was going to be asking Amanda to the homecoming dance, and Billy didn't like Theo macking on his woman. Ugh, goodness. When Amanda got back from Devon's and made her way to the office, she was not particularly warm and fuzzy with Billy. Her world has been rocked, and she also realized that she put her foot in her mouth a little bit with Devon. So she took it out on Billy, doing the whole, stop asking me questions about my personal life routine. But then she quickly changed her tune and accepted Billy's request to help her find out more information about her personal life. Okay. All right. So Amanda now knows that Hillary is her twin sister. Amanda also knows that Hillary's mother, her mother, has passed away. What about a father? Billy has offered to help her find out more, to use his investigators to see what more he can uncover. Wonder if there's a father out there. In fact, I wonder if there is a father who might just so happen to be a powerful investor in this town and who loves to have long, like ridiculously long video chats with Victoria. I love that theory. And time will tell. Victoria stopped by Sharon's house to get an update on Sharon's cancer treatment, but also to get an update on her relationship with Adam. I keep forgetting that Sharon and Victoria are friends now. And in fact, Victoria called Sharon family. Sharon is family to Victoria, but Adam is not. Victoria spent the majority of that conversation warning Sharon about Adam. Sharon's been married to Adam. Seems to me Sharon knows exactly who Adam is, and she wants him anyway. Early in the week, Sharon had a very deep and telling dream about Adam. In the dream, Adam comes to her, saying that he can't stop thinking about what she's going through, and he wants to save her. But Sharon says she doesn't trust that Adam would be there for her if and when she was sick and weak. I thought that was very telling too of the reason why maybe Sharon's hesitating on moving forward with anything with Adam when they totally had the opportunity. So in the dream, they both realize that their relationship was more than professional. Something more was going on there. But it's always complicated between them. It's always complicated. So Sharon snaps out of her dream and she gets back to reality, and she realizes that Ray is the man who would be there for her if she was sick and weak. So Sharon again calls it off with Adam for the second time in 2 weeks. She says that she's done counseling Adam, and then she goes back to Ray. And then she assures Ray that Adam will not come in between them again. Again. It's not going to happen again. I don't know. I am starting to think that maybe Ray's just not good in bed or something. Because I'm racking my brain. I'm trying to figure this one out. There's got to be some really good reason why Sharon is so lukewarm on a man like Ray, who is hot and loving and giving and overall wonderful. Yet clearly Adam is the one who lights Sharon's fire. So at the end of the day, I'm just asking myself, well, if maybe it just does come down to the bedroom. Maybe in the bedroom, Adam is a stud and Ray is a dud. Billy officially woos Alyssa to ChanceCom, and he gives her a big fat expense account to get the job done on this Adam expose story. This is Billy's new #1 priority at the new diversified ChanceCom. Abby then alerts Chelsea about the fact that Alyssa is digging around Chance and Adam and this Las Vegas incident secret. And Chelsea tells Abby she's still Team Adam. This week, after everything, Chelsea is still Team Adam. Even though he totally walked out on her and their family yesterday. Adam walks out on his family. Chelsea still wants to defend him. I don't get it. I would feed him to the dogs. So, like I said, he has got to be good in bed. That's what it is. And that, make no mistake, can make somebody crazy. If a guy is that good in bed, you will lose your mind. I think that's what's going on here. Adam is so good in bed, he's made 2 women just lose their freaking minds. All better judgment just flies out the window. So instead of Chelsea telling Adam to just go ahead and leave the way he said he was going to do last week, Chelsea tells Adam instead, no, you're not leaving me. You should marry me. Adam came home to the penthouse to pack his bags to leave her, and she proposed to him. She had the birth certificates, and she was ready to go down to the courthouse today, right now, to lock it in. She wanted to lock in those bedroom skills so that they were exclusively by contract hers. And somehow it worked. Adam just bent to her will. I mean, he was so sure last week that he was a menace to her, to Connor, and to everyone else around him except Sharon. And then, in an instant, he just changed his mind and went back to Chelsea. There was no kiss. There was no I love you. There was just this moment of Adam and Chelsea bonding together to fight a common enemy, Victor. Wait, what? Wait. What did Victor do this time? 2 weeks ago, Chelsea was over at the ranch kissing Victor's butt every day, having a sleepover with Connor. What? I am all for a new war. I mean, all of the emotions of that scene were like, ooh, scary, a new war. Ooh, this could be good. But in this particular instance, Victor's not the enemy, and I don't know how we made the leap to that. In this instance, the enemy is, and even was in that moment, clearly, Billy and Alyssa and Chancecom. Chancecom is publishing the tell-all story about Adam and Victor, which they now know. Adam and Victor are kind of on the same side here. I don't get it. I don't get it. Every week I think we're one place and then it's just totally opposite. Again, I'm all for the drama. I'm all for some kind of war, but I think the war is between Adam and Billy. That's the war, and it always should have been and was. I don't know. Now that Chelsea and Adam have decided to send Connor off to boarding school to get that kid out of the way, they can just do whatever they want. They can go after whoever they want and get their dirty work done. Fine. Except I don't really see exactly how sending Connor to boarding school is all that different from Hope taking Adam to Kansas. The kids always get sent away on soaps. Always. All of them. Adam is the only one who just can't seem to get over it. Adam went to Kansas with Hope, and he had a good father in Cliff, never knowing that he had black leather jacket genes until much later. It just seemed like that was a good decision in retrospect. Keeping Adam away from Victor in retrospect was a good decision. I don't know. I at least Connor knows who his dad is. That's good for him. But arguably, I feel like Adam would have been better off not knowing who his father was. And then there's Chelsea. I realized this week that what I need is more reasons to love Chelsea. I need to love and connect with Chelsea's character, or nothing in this story is going to work for me. So step one, Chelsea telling Sharon to stay the hell away from Adam. That's a good start for me. Sharon sends Adam a very vague text message that sounded totally sexual out of context. It said, I know you think we crossed a line, but I needed that just as much as you did. I mean, how the heck else are you supposed to interpret it? Chelsea picks up Adam's phone, sees that brand new text message coming in from Sharon, and immediately assumes that she's talking about all that good sex that they had in that motel room. They needed that. I feel a lot better now. Adam looked like he was in trouble. Oh, he had the hands up, like saying, no, 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 baby. It's not what you think. He was able to splain his way out of that one. What he did was tell Chelsea that no, that text, what Sharon's talking about, it has nothing to do with sex. It was just intimacy. Sharon confided in Adam that her cancer had spread, and they talked it out, and they realized that in doing that, they crossed a professional line, so their counseling sessions will never work now. It just doesn't work, which was exactly what Chelsea wanted to hear. And then Adam puts a cherry on top of that sweet, sweet cake of denial by telling Chelsea that she was right about Sharon all along. You know, it was a bad idea from the start. You were right. I was wrong, baby. Yeah, that ought to placate her. Chelsea felt bad about Sharon's cancer diagnosis for about a minute. And then she marched over to the cottage to tell Sharon to stay the hell away from her fiancé. That man is mine. And all that comes along with it, mine. I at least, I have to say, I like the fiercer version of Chelsea. I like the idea that she's fighting for her man, or fighting for something, for crying out loud, even though if I were her, I would have left him in that motel room with Sharon stashed in the bathroom. But it's at least nice to get something different from Chelsea. Get her back to her con girl roots. That works for me fine. She was schmoozing on Theo to get herself let into the ChanceCom office so that she could plant a listening device to get the inside info on exactly what Billy and Alyssa are planning. So Chelsea was able to overhear Alyssa telling Billy that she found the wife of the dead guy who's buried in the Las Vegas desert, and that this woman is willing to talk to her. And I think if that's right, I think the predictions are right, that this woman, this mystery woman who's been a mystery for a long time, they've been having that little seed there for a long time, but I think for sure she is going to be being played by Courtney Hope, the former Sally Spectra Jr., which I am very, very much anticipating, and I hope it's going to happen next week. I'd like to see her next week. And next week, from the previews, it also sounds like Victoria is going to be adding to the Adam expose story by telling Billy all about that time when Adam switched Victor's medications and tried to kill him. The walls are closing in on Adam. Final moments of Friday's show. Chelsea had also put that listening device app on Adam's phone, and so Adam was able to overhear one more bugged conversation that was between Billy and Victoria, and Billy was leaking to Victoria his fantastic title for this tell-all expose of Victor Newman Jr. It's going to be called The Making of a Monster, starring Victor Newman as Dr. Frankenstein, co-starring Adam Newman as the monster. Happy Halloween, everyone! When Victoria was visiting with Sharon, she made a comment about how Adam always bites the hand that reaches out to him. Like he's a wild animal or something, like gnawing throats out, just on guys' throats. He's an animal biting the hand that feeds him. I don't know, Adam does always kind of look like he hasn't slept in days. But I thought it was an interesting observation. Adam always bites the hand that reaches out to him. Victoria was saying this to warn Sharon. And I thought, well, you know, there have been a few people who have reached out to Adam over the years, and they do get bit. I mean, Chance is a good example of that. Chance really tried to be Adam's friend. Chance really tried to maintain his loyalty, but Adam acts like Chance is his pesky little brother who's not allowed in the bad boy clubhouse. I don't get it. Adam and Chance officially ended their alliance this week, and I just don't fully understand why Adam is so bristly with Chance. Like, Chance wanted to be loyal. Chance felt indebted to Adam for saving his life over this Vegas thing, and Chance wanted to repay that debt to Adam at any cost. At the very least, Adam could have manipulated Chance's loyalty in any number of ways, but Adam has always just been very coarse and annoyed about it all. I don't know, maybe it's because Chance is over-eager? But now Chance has his new job with the GCPD on the line, and Chance does not want what happened in Vegas to ruin it for him. So Chance tells Adam that if he takes that job, then his duty will come first, and then Adam warns him in return that that goes both ways. So we're setting up some kind of conflict here between Chance and Adam. But ultimately, what happened in Las Vegas was a federal investigation and a federal crime. Chance would never be in the position of having to investigate that as part of the GCPD. So what that tells me is that there is some foreshadowing here, that Chance is going to be put in a position somehow of having to investigate some new local crime that's either committed by Adam or committed by Chelsea. I just could totally see Chance catching wind of something that Chelsea has done, something shady that Chelsea has done, because now she's being the shady one. She's the one that's mostly kind of doing the dirty work on Adam's behalf. And I can just see Chance like catching on to it and feeling conflicted about booking her or charging her because A, Chelsea is friends with Abby, and B, I think Chance kind of has the hots for Chelsea. He has spent a lot of time with Chelsea throughout the, searching for Adam and all of that. Not exactly sure how that is all going to pan out. But I'm looking forward to seeing Chance being sworn in to bumble his way around the Genoa City law, to botch it at every twist and turn. I wonder if Paul will be conducting Chance's swearing in ceremony. I wonder if Paul himself will be passing the baton to Chance, considering that we now have word from Doug Davidson that he is coming back for an episode. Yay! Paul's coming back. Cool. Good. Doug Davidson said on Twitter that it's only 4 pages of the script, so it sounds like maybe an episode, and it's of course going to be connected to Chance's new job, which is, it's icky. It's icky that Paul's kind of like losing his spot on the show, but it is also a good step. It's a step in the right direction. Doug Davidson always seems so eager to work. I don't know why they do this to him. Think about those intros that he filmed during the classic episodes. I think he filmed 2 intros to those classic episodes week. Like, the guy obviously loves Y&R. And I think it's high time that Y&R start loving him back and showing him the respect that he deserves. He's the show's longest running character who the fans still want to see. I can't wait to see Summer and Kyle's new house. I hope it actually happens. Because it just doesn't really make sense that a couple would be living in side-by-side hotel rooms. Or even if it was just Kyle living in the hotel room and Summer has her apartment still. He would be living with her. It doesn't make sense. I think we need a new home. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. In the meantime, Summer gives Kyle a hearty welcome home from his business trip this week. And then afterwards, they're hanging around in the hotel room, talking about their future. They talk about getting a couple or 3 dogs. And then dog talk turns to kid talk, which quickly turns to marriage talk. And then Kyle ties the knot with a cherry stem, giving Summer a little engagement ring, and then proposes to her. And they have a little moment of realizing that they're engaged. All from the 2 furthest edges of that bed, too. They became secretly engaged, though. This is meant to be very low-key. They have made a promise to one another that this is their path. They are on the path to marriage, but they also don't want to go telling everybody about it. They don't want to ruffle any feathers or disrespect Lola, considering Kyle is not even divorced officially yet. Summer and Kyle also pay a visit to Victor. That seemed a little strange to me. Summer seems to still want Victor's approval. She tried to grease the wheels with Victor by buying him a very, very expensive and very exclusive bottle of tequila. But there truly is no amount of tequila that's going to make Victor Newman keep his mouth shut about how he feels on the topic of Kyle Abbott. Summer jumped in and she was defending Kyle and defending the relationship, and what I was waiting for was for Kyle to say, hey, remember how you and I actually did have a good relationship at one point? Yeah. Remember that? Remember when Kyle and Victor were cohorts for about a minute? I was glad that conversation actually took place. But I don't know, I mean, Kyle definitely took a soft line with Victor. It's hilarious to me that Victor was giving Kyle a hard time for having married and then divorced the same woman, Summer, and then marrying her again. Like, I wish Kyle or Summer would have just said to Victor, how many times have you married and divorced and then married and divorced and then married Nikki again? Are Lola and Theo a good match? That's our poll question for this week at yrchat.com. Are they really a good match? Lola and Theo argue every week now. And this week they argued twice. Usually the cycle goes like this. Lola finds some small reason to freak out. Theo comes groveling at her feet. Lola forgives him. One day goes by, and then Lola finds some new small reason to freak out. Early in the week, Lola set this weird trap for Theo, getting Theo to admit that he likes dating Kyle's ex, but he said it before he even knew what he was saying. It was so weird and tricky, like, gotcha to say something you didn't even really know you were saying, got you to agree to something you didn't really even know you were agreeing to. It's weird. And then later in the week, she overheard Theo schmoozing with Chelsea, and Lola interpreted it as Theo flirting with Chelsea at her place of business, no less. And then when Theo and Chelsea left together, Lola assumed that maybe they ran off to hook up. Like, what more does Theo have to do to show and express to Lola that he is into her and only her? Lola is so insecure. And I realized this week that a lot of her brattiness, like we talked about last week, is just her insecurity in disguise. I mean, Lola was burned pretty bad by Kyle. I'm sure it hurt incredibly, and I'm sure it shook her confidence incredibly, learning that her husband was more attracted to someone else than he was to her. Ouch. I mean, I'll give you, that's gotta hurt. But if Lola is in a place where she is that insecure right now, then maybe a guy like Theo, with Theo's outgoing personality type, is not the right fit for her. Although I don't know, I feel like we've spent so much time building Lola and Theo, and I could totally be into it if she wasn't doing this every single week. I like my soap opera couples to have that contrast. I like the whole opposite personalities attract thing. I think that sometime in the near future here, we're gonna need to see Lola evolve. I mean, I always thought it was a misstep for Lola to start working at Abby's restaurant. I thought the thing that was appealing about Lola from the start was the fact that she was self-assured, and she was also a self-starter. She had her food truck. She had her business. And then she just abandoned that to go work at Abby's restaurant. And as time has gone on, I really feel like Lola and the audience has lost sight of who she is. Like, we spend all of our time just juggling Lola's love life, and I don't know who she is anymore. I would like to see Lola start her own restaurant in Genoa City, or buy Society from Abby somehow and redecorate it and rename it La Vida Lola. Like, I would like to get some more of a sense of Lola's Latina heritage. How about that? We could do that vis-a-vis her restaurant. I mean, talk about diversity. That would be perfect. Following up on last week, I think we need to keep an eye on that, by the way. Let's see if Y&R actually follows through with Lily's pledge to diversify ChanceCom. Because that's going to be the test that tells me whether or not Y&R was serious about presenting some more cultural diversity on the show, or whether they were just putting on a mask. Michelle Stafford gets all of the good material. I think Michelle Stafford must be in tight with Josh Griffith. I mean, that's why she got Gina Tognoni's job. And now Phyllis gets all the screen time. She is on at least 3 episodes a week. She gets all of the good lines. This week, it was great. Nick told Phyllis that she was perfect. And she threw up this minor amount of resistance and then said to him, "Okay, I'm perfect." She makes me laugh because she also told him later, "It's okay, you can say you love me." Like, her lines are so choice. She gets all the good ones. She also gets all the good guys. Phyllis has been with every leading man on the show. Currently it's Nick, who I think is a really good match for her. I dig in Phyllis and Nick's vibe a lot. I think that they're a good example of opposites attract, and it's complementary to both of the actors. Like, what's going on with Nick and Phyllis works for the Phyllis character, works for the Nick character. But Phyllis is a fighter. You know, she is always very intense, while we have Nick over here kind of just happy with what he has. Yeah. Nick's lock is not that hard to pick. He's not that complicated. Phyllis is picking his lock. And so he's fine. He's happy. And he wants to pass that happiness along to Phyllis. I loved the lesson that Nick had for Phyllis this week. It was How to Be Mellow by Nick Newman. I need some of that. I need some of that Nick Newman mellow in my life, because I get Phyllis. I like the character and I get the character. She's afraid to be happy because she's been burned so many times. So she lives her life in this constant state of bracing herself for whatever crisis comes next. That is so human to me. I just truly, truly do enjoy Nick and Phyllis. They have an enormous amount of chemistry, even now. I mean, even in all of their post-coronavirus era scenes, like, Nick and Phyllis have chemistry without ever touching. And so I think it's a very timely evolution of their relationship for them to be saying their I love yous right now. Because the first I love yous are a very emotional evolution of their physical relationship. I think it really, really works for the characters right now, for where the characters are right now. I think it really works for where the show is right now and for where the world is right now. I mean, Y&R with Nick and Phyllis are looking for ways to show intimacy without being able to show intimacy. And the first I love yous are a really perfect way to do that. I'm glad that Nick softened Phyllis up a little bit this week. Told her that he understands her and he loves her because, is it me? Or was Phyllis unnecessarily brutal in her conversation with Jack about Dina? What was the harm of letting him think that he had received some generic, all you need is love, well-meaning message from Dina? What was the problem? Now, because of that conversation with Phyllis, Jack is going back to the drawing board again to watch that home movie a few more 100 times again. And now he's got Traci watching it with him too again. Traci's there. She comes up without of nowhere. The realization and the sneaking suspicion that there's some sort of meaning hidden in the emerald necklace that Dina was wearing in the video. I can't believe it. I just can't even believe it. It's so frustrating. What Jack needs is to move on and to break out of this cycle. He is spending way too much time overthinking Dina's life and not enough time living his. I thought that the love above all else message that he thought he received from Dina was gonna push Jack in the direction of finding love again, or just dating again, something, anything. Wouldn't that be nice? To see Jack doing something, anything that wasn't all about his mommy. I know and I understand that life with Dina, life with an Alzheimer's victim, could be all consuming if you let it be, but the message here, after all this time, the message here should be carpe diem. For both Jack and Traci. The message should be, live your life. It's shorter than you think. You are so thoughtful, it's disgusting. It's a curse. It is a curse for Devon to be so thoughtful. It's disgusting. That's what Elena told him last week. That's the answer to our Who Said It quote from last week was Elena. I think that might possibly be the first time I had the opportunity to pick a really good quote from Elena. That's the thing about Elena, is she's very nice. And she's very relatable, and I like those qualities about her very much. But she doesn't get a lot of the exciting lines or the exciting drama, you know? I mean, it's kind of gonna be like the Lola thing if we're gonna spend the next several weeks and months just watching Elena's insecurity. I get it. But it also does kind of wear on you after a while to just see that someone's not making any progress on their insecurity. Again, life's shorter than you think. If you're with someone who you don't think fully loves you back, don't be. I mean, I don't know, but that's kind of how soaps are. We're always insecure about keeping the mate. We had 9 winners this week on that Elena quote. It was Julie, Lynn, Keisha, Daisy, Heather, Henry, Kamna, and Sharito. Well done, you 9. You 9 winners. You're so thoughtful, it's disgusting. Well, how about this line? It's sort of in the same vein. I think you'll get it. Who said it? I love you, you idiot. What a thing to say. I love you, you idiot. I know you know. So go to yrchat.com to leave me your guess. And after all week comes in, when everybody gets it right, I will give each and every one of you your shout outs on next week's Y&R Chat. So many good comments this week. Let's start out with Diana, who says, I wonder if it ever occurred to Traci or Jack that necklace Dina was wearing may have been given to or stolen by Graham. Wouldn't that be good if all of this was leading to Graham coming back on the show? He was such a good missed opportunity, too. I know we always go back to Graham, but he did just disappear. He was supposedly this huge part of Dina's life, and then he was just gone. Whatever it is, whatever the mystery is, we just need to solve it and then move on. That's the thing. It was the same thing with Jack trying to find out his real father. It was a key, and the key led to the motel room, and the motel room led to, there was a safety deposit box, and inside the safety deposit there's a picture. And it was just this constant, following clues that never got anywhere. I mean, in the end, Jack's father was Jack's father. So, it's just, and now we're back to, secret message in the video, and, could it be something she said? No, it's something she's wearing, and they better get to it. Whatever it is, Y&R better get to it. Victoria says, Y&R, let's give Jack a romantic interest so we can divert him from the family mysteries. Why don't we have Traci or Ashley have an old friend come back to town to work at ChanceCom? Somebody, yes, Victoria. And P-Boy H says, or how about having Jack's long-gone son, Chemo, come back on the scene? It makes me cringe when they make it seem like Kyle is his only son. Now that could be a rivalry. Although Chemo wasn't about the corporate life, doesn't mean that he hasn't changed and now has an interest. Or could it be that he had been close with Dina over all these years and just shows up to help resolve all of those mysterious issues of the past? Just saying. Oh, if all of this led to, shoot, either Graham or Chemo, I will shut my mouth and I will go on with some happiness. I mean, here's another missed opportunity for some diversity. Jack has a Vietnamese son. I don't know why Y&R just never grabbed onto Chemo. Never grabbed onto him. And I love Chemo. I mean, I've been talking about Chemo since day one of Y&R Chat. I was a big freaking fan of Chemo. I'm a big freaking fan of the Philip Moon. I think he was awesome. Bring him back. I mean, if you have to recast him, fine. But Philip Moon would be great. And they just don't do it. I mean, like you said, he could be a rival for Kyle. Why does Kyle just get the reins at Jabot? Why not Chemo? Train him. I'm frustrated with Jack and his story, and I think it's been building over the past year or so. That's the thing. It's not just weeks that we've been on this mystery train. It's years. Well, Jamie's feeling the frustration with Lola right now, saying Lola's not womanly enough for Theo. I think that's an maybe it's more that she's not mature womanly. Yes, she does. She's a girl with Theo, and you can see her kind of, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, you're supposed to, as you grow and evolve, you're supposed to get a little bit more confidence, a sense of yourself. You can't be expected to know exactly who you are at 20, whatever she is, but Theo does seem to have a better sense of who he is than Lola does. That's what I'm saying, man. We need to know who Lola is and stick to it and get her into a place where she's confident. She's got her business, man. She's a good catch for Theo, and Theo should want her. You know what I mean? We got to build up Lola's confidence and see where it goes before I can deal with her dating anybody. Jamie says also, I'm throwing my hat into the ring for Theo and Victoria. Theo and Victoria. I still think it's going to be Victoria and Ray. I think Victoria's going to be stopping by the cottage to check on Sharon since they're besties now. And I think she's going to keep bumping into Ray. And I think that Ray and Victoria are going to bond over the fact that they both can't stand Adam. And then Ray and Victoria are going to find themselves potentially embroiled in some undeniable passions that they're both denying. They've kind of tested Theo with a couple of people. But yeah, they had Victoria, they had Chelsea this week. Theo's up in everything. They love the Theo character. TB84 says, Theo is such a gigolo. Okay, sorry, that was too harsh. A womanizer? Is that better? I don't know, but he gives me those vibes. First he was with Summer, but that's up in the past. Then Lola has the big crush, and perhaps that's his big love. Then we see him first flirting with Chelsea and Chloe. It was adorable, I'll give him that. Then he bumps into Victoria at the society bar, and they both even admit, are you hitting on me? Then suddenly he seems interested in Amanda, and just like that, accepts a drink proposal from Chelsea. Again, that's easily. He's everywhere. Yeah, Theo kind of is everywhere. Yeah, I mean, the show, I don't know if they're just testing out different chemistry possibility there. Would have been nice if we really got, I mean, they spent months building Theo and Lola, and in the end, the payoff for that was a behind-closed-door sex sesh that we didn't even get to see. It's going to be real disappointing if that's just over now, but you're right. They've been testing him with so many other different people. It does make him come off like he's like a womanizer or something. Here's the thing. I'm not 20-something, and although I would hang out with Theo on occasion, I don't think I'd be able to handle dating him. That's just his personality type would not be right for me. But I guess part of growing up, too, is realizing when someone's not right for you. I mean, physical attraction and emotional attraction is kind of the easy part, but, finding someone you can function with is different. Maybe we just haven't found that for Theo or Lola. I don't know. Go to yrchat.com this week to vote in the Lola Theo poll. Are they a good match, or do we need to just throw in the towel on this? Let me know. Oh, here's an interesting idea from Sharon. Sharon says, see, barista goddess Tessa would have known how to fix that temperamental cappuccino machine maker. But since she's not there to help support Team Sharon nor Mariah, I guess I will have to take Lola, who we have seen spending a lot more time with Mariah. And Theo's busy schmoozing for work, which he's not wrong to do. But Lola's in her feels. So maybe we're about to get truly a couple's shake up. Just a thought. I had that same thought too, Sherrod. Gee, Mariah and Lola sure were getting along. I had that thought too. Wouldn't that be great? Ooh, that would bring some comments to the website. Ooh. I wondered about that too. Sherrod, though, I did see a preview. Maybe it was like a fall preview, but I saw somewhere that Tessa is coming back. She's going to be on for at least a couple episodes, and that it was something that said something like Mariah's going to make a choice. Some sort of something. Mariah makes some sort of choice that, I don't know, puts her into a position with Tessa. I don't know. I don't exactly know. But yeah, it's a little like blah when you have a character who has an off-screen partner. It's a little bit of a blah move. Oh, let's shift some gears here. Victoria says, Amanda, your search to find out information about your twin should begin with Mariah. Mariah and Hillary were frenemies at GC Buzz. Mariah can share stories and the online memorial that she created for Hillary. Yeah. Yeah. Is that going to happen maybe next week? And it should. Right? Okay, logically it should. I can get it didn't happen this week. Fine. But within the next 2 weeks, we definitely are going to need to see Amanda have a little bump in with Mariah. No doubt about it. And also, P-Boy H says, sometimes it is a bit annoying that they miss the obvious. Wasn't there a time when Jack was closer to Hillary than anyone else? That is a darn good point, too. Because there was a moment where Billy was admitting that he didn't really know Hillary all that well, and I didn't even make the connection that, oh yeah, well, your brother did. Your brother was best friends with Hillary for a while. Huh. Well, let's talk about Elena here for a minute. Sharita says, I don't think Elena should blame Amanda for looking like Hillary and for being her twin. Elena should have been honest about how she felt about the DNA search when Devon asked her in the first place. Yeah, Sharita, that is true. If Elena had a problem with Devon helping Amanda, rather than, taking the back seat and not expressing and hoping it all worked out for her, she really should have been more assertive about it. Sharita also says, this will blow up in Elena's face. Amanda is all the fire and challenge of Hillary in the best ways. Elena doesn't stand a chance, and if we really want to be honest, no matter what, Elena was just the rebound girl. Ooh, Elena was always the rebound girl. Oh no, that makes me feel horrible for Elena. I mean, the next relationship doesn't always have to be a rebound, does it? Or maybe it does. I mean, I think it's on the wall here, right? Devon and Amanda are gonna fight it and then get back together, and then Elena's gonna run to Nate. It's already all there. This is good. Daisy says there's a chance that Elena knows that Amanda is really Hillary and wants to keep them apart. What if? Oh, that would be a good. That would add some dimension or something to Elena's character, her being a little sneaky. Do we want to see Elena being sneaky? Or do we like Elena and her good girl status? Good question. Sandra says, after seeing Wednesday's show, I really felt for Devon, Amanda, and Elena. The dialogue between Devon and Amanda and Nate and Elena made me think the real story is not just Amanda finding out that she's Hillary's twin, but the complex emotions and the need for sensitivity between the three. Amanda is desperate for any information she can get about Hillary, and Devon has to protect himself from bringing his grief back front and center, and Elena will have to accept that Devon is still in love with Hillary, and she will always be the one for him. I feel bad for all of them. That is so true, Sandra. Absolutely. The story here wasn't just the twin twist. I mean, the twin twist was pretty obvious right from the start. Definitely the complex emotions that go into this are the bigger story. It's really heartbreaking. My heart breaks for Devon. He's become such a really good cast member on this show. I didn't always get all the feels for Devon, and I just so do now, especially thinking about how he lost his wife and his child and his father in such a short amount of time, and the fact that he holds it together at all. I mean, Devon's a good example of someone who's had some tragedy in his life, and he's able to hold it together. He doesn't run out on the family. I respect Devon. He's had his moments, but I respect Devon and I feel for him, and I think that makes me feel for Elena and makes me feel for Amanda. It's hopefully, I mean, digging into the emotions of this story are gonna be what's good about it. Yeah. Well, last week in the poll where I asked you guys if you think that Amanda and Hillary would be friends or if they would be enemies, I got some good responses, starting with Astra, who says, I voted enemies. They're opposites. I honestly think Hillary would be insecure and jealous about Amanda's success and general nice nature. I voted that way too, Astra. But Tony says, I voted friends. They could start as enemies, then start talking about who they know, what they know, who done them wrong. Maybe they could resurrect GC Buzz and Hillary so they could have them do interviews, dish the dirt, sometimes do a good deed, help themselves to justice and status in the town. 2 of those heads are better than 1. It's time for Hillary to make a comeback. Victor can show her how to do that. Can you imagine GC Buzz hosted by Hillary and Amanda? That would be crazy good. Lynn4283 says, I voted enemies. I just can't see Hillary and Amanda being fast friends, or at the very least close sisters. If Hillary was alive, I agreed with you, Allie, when you pointed out that Hillary would have felt threatened over Amanda looking exactly like her. Well, but also, Lynn, to Astra's point, it's like Amanda was this educated and very traditionally in a professional field and very tight and very like, she seems like a real go-getter. And Hillary was successful in a totally different way. And I wonder if each of them maybe would have felt threatened by the fact that the other sister possessed the qualities that the other one didn't have. Well, Robbie says he thinks that they would have been enemies. I think Hillary would be completely jealous of Amanda, but the better question for me is, who would Phyllis pick as her BFF? That might be the better question, Robbie. Who would Phyllis pick as her BFF, Amanda or Hillary? Because again, I think Phyllis and Hillary were a little more alike, but Amanda would give her a little bit of balance. Maybe they could fight over who gets to be Phyllis's friend, considering Phyllis is the star of the show, undisputed. Oh goodness, this is a really great observation from Sharita about Nick and Phyllis. Sharita says, Nick loves women when they are down and out. He needs to be the hero. Phyllis, with her life intact, is not the Phyllis that Nick loves forever. You are so right. Nick does always have to be the one to save the day. But I think we gotta get, you're right though, we gotta get there. There's no way Phyllis is going to be calm and mellow along with Nick. Hey, did you notice how Phyllis did kind of pull herself out of that Adam Vegas inquiry? I mean, she was the one who was bugging Riza and setting up Adam, and she wanted that revenge on Adam. And then now she just doesn't, especially at a time when revenge on Adam is like a really plentiful commodity. I'm surprised that Nick and Phyllis aren't jumping in on that. Instead, they're hanging back and they are being mellow. I like that. I mean, I don't need the whole town jumping on Adam. There's other things to do. There's other characters. I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of like Phyllis is the undisputed star of the show for the females, but Adam is the undisputed star of the show for the men. That's what I think. Those two get the most screen time, the most story, and those are 2 picks by this writer. He wanted Michelle Stafford's Phyllis, and he wanted to recast and work with Adam. So that's what we got. Whole lot of Phyllis and Adam. It is a little surprising that she's not up in it, but I sure love your point that if she were, Nick would not have it, probably. Well, Superplex comments on Nick's mellow outlook on life and Phyllis asking Nick how she could get in on some of that mellow. Superplex says, Nick had everything handed to him on a silver platter. Yeah, it's real easy to be mellow when you don't actually have to work for anything. I mean, Nick's got all the money. He's got all the everythings. He's Nick Newman. He's like got it all. There's nothing he has to fight for. Any fight that Nick has had, it's either some way that he shot himself in the foot or it's some choice that he has made, and in my opinion, unnecessarily. I like Mellow Nick. I want to keep Mellow Nick. I want to keep Nick in a comedy space. He does that well with Michelle Stafford's Phyllis, so I'm happy where they are. Leslie says, I loved the scenes with Chelsea and Theo. She seemed so carefree compared to the gloom and doom that we usually get with her. She had a great big smile on her face, didn't she, Leslie? Like, Chelsea was flashing the teeth, and she was being giggly with Theo, and even with Billy. She was, inquiring about his kids, being social. It was like she was back to being nice girl Chelsea, but with a wink. I like that. I liked seeing Chelsea being manipulative a little. Gary says, though, it offends me to see Chelsea doing that lame con artist thing. All that goofy, over-the-top flirting. This character's all over the place. It's weird that Adam has come back from his I'm a terrible person phase to plot and scheme to ruin someone else in an afternoon. Although I wouldn't mind seeing him break Billy and run him out of town. Why can't these two surrender their adrenaline rush to just be good role models and raise their son in peace? It's in the genes. Two restless souls desperate for a front burner storyline going in circles. But boom, going in circles. That's all we've been doing lately, isn't it? It all turned on a dime. I mean, I listened back to everything from Y&R Chat from last week, and it's like, well, that's blown. I mean, we were in a totally different place last week at this time. Adam was all in on being the loner and obviously winking in the Sharon direction. And then just in one afternoon, as you said, it's like back in on Chelsea, partnering with Chelsea, and we're going after Victor? Okay. I don't know what Victor's got to do with it right now, but as you say, Adam and Chelsea going after Billy, that gets a thumbs up for me. I think Billy versus Adam is a great rivalry to have. We've got a reason to have it now. So why'd we do all the side jaunt of him leaving Chelsea then? Why'd we even bother with that then? And I'm sorry, Gary. I know you're going to be upset that Connor has been sent away to boarding school. I'm sure you're going to be playing a tiny little violin for Connor, as we all should be. Another soap opera kid sent to the boarding school. Is it Swiss? Is it a Swiss boarding school, perhaps? Oh, it's my favorite soap opera trope, to be honest with you. The kids that go to boarding school. It's the best. Connor will be back from boarding school probably when it's safe for coronavirus, and he'll also be like 22, and he'll be the newest match for Lola, and she'll be insecure with him. Connor, no matter what, Connor is going to be a troublemaker. He is going to come back as a troublemaker. He's already got his dark issues of the things he's seen. Connor's going to come back as a troublemaker someday. And that little kid, we're going to be talking about who he's going to be hooking up with. The cycle continues. T. Nicole says, that was quick for Adam to change his mind. Now he's back on Team Chelsea. I have a bit of whiplash from the marry me Chelsea and let's break up and I'm no good for you and now we're back together and we're going to take down Victor. Yeah, it's whiplash, and it's not just the Chelsea's part. That's what gets me. It's the Victor part too. Literally, Chelsea was hanging with Victor and Nikki 2 weeks ago. She had some words with Nikki at the ranch, but well, she wasn't claiming war against Nikki. I mean, Victor's been pretty welcoming to Chelsea. They were on the same side, not wanting Adam to necessarily even pursue the truth about his childhood trauma. And now, out of nowhere, Chelsea seems that it's Chelsea. It's not even Adam. It's Chelsea wants revenge on Victor. Fine. Next week it'll be different. So it's fine. Kamna says, I am so freaking excited. When Adam said, this is war, I was all gooey and gleeful inside. And I'm so glad Chatham is back, as well as Shay, fighting their own kind of battle, of course. And I'm counting down the days for Alyssa. Oh, well, first of all, I'm glad you're excited for that, because it was like a really exciting moment when Adam said, this is war. I mean, Yeah, I mean, but if that's the actors bringing it, that's the thing. That's the power of the acting, not the writing. The writing is where I'm having some trouble. But I also had some trouble decoding your couple names. It took me a minute because Chatham I hear a lot, Chelsea and Adam. But Shay I haven't even heard, which I should. That would make sense. Sharon and Ray. But the new one, Belissa is a good one. So that's Billy and Alyssa, presumably. Belissa. We gotta hook her up with somebody. She's so spunky. I keep wanting to say Mariah, but Mariah's supposedly with Deza. I don't know. Or Jack. These are all my old ideas. Who else? So who else could we hook Alyssa up with? But you're feeling the chemistry with Alyssa and Billy. I mean, yeah. I guess it's just I know that Billy has his eyes on Amanda, so I can't push him too far in anybody else's direction. But Alyssa is a good match. I also really liked the black and white horizontal stripe with like the eyelet lace. That might not be the right word, but it was like a lacy sort of see-through black and white stripe, like prison fashion top that she had on, and her hair's all cool. Oh, it was black and white top with black pants and then bright red lipstick. I like Alyssa's fashion. She could be a model for Chelsea 2.0 now that Chelsea's getting that back up and going again. Didn't Chelsea say she was going to get that back up and going again? She was working with Chloe. We haven't seen anything else about that. Maybe Y&R feels that Chelsea's career as a designer is played out. But I liked that that was a part of her character. It was nice to know that she had a job other than holding Adam's leash. Leslie says, Victor has shown love and support for Adam throughout his latest ordeal. I'd rather see them go with Adam and Victor getting along. To Victoria, Nick, and Nikki's chagrin for a while. Now there's a direction we haven't seen. Adam and Victor getting along and really sticking it to Victoria and Nick and Nikki. Yeah! That would have been the move, especially since, look, I know Victor's not a great father, but he hasn't done anything bad to Adam lately. I mean, and if we're gonna, I don't know, I think it would have been a more interesting dynamic to see them getting along just a little bit for a little while. This would have been a good opportunity to bring them together. Victoria says, I love the idea of having Adam and Chelsea face off against the Newmans. I'd love Adam and Chelsea to beat them business-wise. Chelsea could create her new line and have Adam create a business suited to his skills. Then take away Newman's manufacturers, suppliers, and executive talent, including Dan. This would topple Newman from the inside out and surprise them all. Yeah, I'm hearing that people want a Victor, something for Victor and Adam, but it's not necessarily a rivalry. It's not necessarily a rivalry over this. I like your idea of Adam creating a rival company and going against Newman Enterprises. Of course, I'm sure Victor would definitely not like that. But shoot. I mean, Victor's on such bad terms with Victoria. Who knows? I think probably the rivalry feels like it's working right now between Adam and Victoria versus Adam and Victor. I think I'm on board with Leslie saying I'd like Victor and Adam to get along and let Adam go at Billy and Victoria with everything he's got. Add Chelsea's business element in there. That's smart. That's good. There are so many good ideas from Y&R chatters, and Y&R just does not listen to them. What do we have to do? Well, Ellen has an idea for another expose article, and her expose article is on Billy. The title is Billy Abbott, the silver spoon screw-up who tried to run me over. Yeah, man. I mean, you're living in a glass house, Billy. That's probably not gonna work out. This is probably not gonna work out. Of course, Billy thinks that Chelsea and Adam aren't onto him, but as soon as he publishes this article, he's opening himself up to Adam and Chelsea or anybody else coming after him. Billy's got plenty of skeletons in his closet too. Everybody does. But Ellen also says, as Adam's defense attorney, I would say he's been punished and vilified way beyond the scope of his crimes, while other evildoers in Genoa City go about their merry way. That's true. Billy's done some bad stuff too, and nobody's like harping on it. Yeah, I mean, I don't even feel like, I don't even know. I don't even know why we're bringing all this stuff back up about Adam. He's I mean, in the scheme of things, he's going through a trauma and a grief right now. It doesn't seem necessary to kick him while he's down. But what really gets me, Ellen, is the idea of you as Adam's defense attorney, because I'm also imagining that you're in a suit. You're like in a black. You look like an attorney. You're giving me basically Avery vibes. You got the attorney suit on. You have on some glasses, and there's a pencil holding your hair in place. Your business cards say Adam Newman, full-time defense attorney. Yes! Within the Y&R Chat community, that's your job title, for sure. But we could take your fantasy one step further. Adam's always going to need a full-time attorney. So you can be that on the side, and then there's the day where Adam turns around and realizes that you're the true love of his life. Or at least that he wants to use some of his excellent skills in the sack to test out onto you. Yes. Ugh, we need you, Ellen. We do. I love this idea. That's great. Oh, goodness. Well, Keisha says Billy had better watch himself going after Adam. He's going to regret bringing up Adam's dirt while ignoring his own. Is anybody going to end up bringing up the fact, as Ellen says, that Billy tried to run Adam over? So that's a whole attempted murder thing that just got swept under the rug and never brought back up again. So we're going to next week bring up how Victor kind of had attempted murder. I mean, this is how it's going to be framed, however you view it. Victoria stepped into Billy's office on Friday in the previews and said, I have a news story for you. It's about how a son tried to attempted murder his father. Okay, meanwhile, we've got Billy over here who totes had an attempted murder attempt on Adam. Okay. They're not going to bring it back up, though. I don't know. Maybe they will. Something's got to happen, because Adam and Chelsea are going to fire back at Billy above all, and it's got to be good. I mean, they're promising with the whole "this is war" intensity. Y&R is practically promising that it's got to be good. It better be. Diana says, I have to say, I'm finding Billy very hot when I see him at work. I found him to be especially sexy when he was talking to Alyssa at ChanceCom. I agree with you about not wanting Billy to be obsessed with Adam, but I'm enjoying seeing Billy being so forceful while he's working. Has nothing to do with Billy wanting revenge on Adam. It's just the way he carries himself and shows that he's in a position of power and authority. It makes him very attractive. Well, amen to that, Diana. Jason Thompson has got swagger. He is a very, very sexy man. He has confidence. He knows he's sexy. He knows he's good. Are you, Diana, on team Bellissa? That's the real question. You were feeling the chemistry there between Billy and Alyssa. Do you want to see them take it to the next level? I mean, they could be a good couple. Because Alyssa she's got spark, she's got spunk, and so does Billy. That could be kind of hot. I just don't want to see Billy and Victoria together again, but I do wonder. Sharon asked Victoria when she came to visit her, hey, how's it going with you and Billy? And Victoria kept it very tight. I don't think she's capable of doing anything else, but she kept it very tight with Sharon, just kind of commenting on, I don't know, them co-parenting. But do you think that there's any chance that this whole path is going to lead back to a Billy and Victoria reunion? Well, Daisy says once Victor finds out what Billy and Victoria are doing, I wonder if he'll buy Chancellor Communications and put a stop to any stories about his family. I think Victor would then own the stories, so whatever information Alyssa has about Adam would be his. Daisy, me and you and I think everybody else here are just waiting for Victor to make a move. What's Victor's move gonna be? We saw in the previews that Adam is going to tell Victor a little something about what's about to go down. Victor and Nikki both are very motivated by trying to protect Connor. So Victor's got to step in here eventually. What will his move be? Buying out Chancellor Communications would be a very Victor-like move. Yeah, and then he'd be all of their bosses. Billy would just quit, though. Victor is definitely the man who's ready to throw down the dollars to solve the situation. Well, let's not talk about Victor. Let's talk about Eric Braeden. Ambrini says, an Eric Braeden mask would go great with your new fur vest, Allie. Oh my goodness. EricBraedenOriginals.com has 3 different Eric Braeden Victor Newman masks available for purchase. You can get one of 3. It's like Victor Newman, and then what's it say? I can't remember what it says. It says wear the damn mask. It's black, and then it's got Victor's face, and then it says wear the damn mask. And then there was 2 others that maybe didn't say anything. Or you could buy the 3-pack. You could buy the triple pack of masks so that your mustache stays, tightly under your mask. That is so funny. I may have to put the Victor Newman mask on my Christmas list this year, at the very least, so that I can add it to my Y&R memorabilia shelf back here. I mean, my mask game is lame. It's way too lame. I'm doing the cowboy bandana. That's my approach. I've got old blue cowboy bandana that I just wrap that around my nose and my mouth. I walked into the bank the other day with my cowboy bandana on, and I had to resist saying stick 'em up. Nothing goes with fur, though. None of them go with fur. Hate to say it. And they also really has ruined my ability to wear my variety of lipstick shades. The only makeup I wear is my lipsticks, and there's just no point anymore. I guess I should see that as a treat. Oh well, I guess I don't have to wear any makeup now. Fine, whatever. But it was like the only thing that I could put on myself to make myself look not dead. I pop on the bright lipstick, and then maybe people assume, oh, she's wearing makeup, and I'm just fooling. It's just lipstick. It's so easy. Put it on, wipe it off. Makes me look a little more alive, and it's the one thing I can't do, so I just look like a dead lady walking in my cowboy bandana, but I have the fur poncho. Oh, that's got to count for some points. Yes, so the Eric Braeden mask will be on my Christmas list. Also on my Christmas list, Gary let me know this week that he received a copy of Melody Thomas Scott's new book as a birthday gift. Ooh, happy belated birthday, Gary. Of course, I am jealous of you. I'm also happy for you, but I'm jealous of you. So I have decided that I cannot have this jealousy standing in between you and I. I am going to this year add the Melody Thomas Scott book to my Christmas list, because I feel like I'm probably going to continue to chicken out on buying it for myself. So I'm going to put the book on my Christmas list, and I think that all of the Y&R chatters out there should do the same thing, because then we can talk about it. Like, I'm throwing down the gauntlet here. You have 3 months to get all of your friends and family on board with the idea that somebody better get you that Melody Thomas Scott book for Christmas or whatever. In the next 3 months, somebody better get you that book. It better be gift wrapped or gift bagged for you by December 31st. We all need to get this book, or Y&R Chat Alley is going to have a Lola Rosales style fit. Oh, I had so many nice and just very encouraging comments this past week. So thank you everybody who came on to say how much you really like Y&R Chat and appreciate it. And that means so much to me. I also had 2 new iTunes reviews. It takes forever for iTunes to publish them. I don't know why, but you'll leave a review and then it doesn't show up for a couple of weeks. But this week I got a nice little surprise of 2 new iTunes reviews, and those are nice and just so special. So thank you so much for doing that, and thank you for leaving me your wonderful comments, because it gives me a good confidence boost. And I'm feeling pretty good today. I might not need a nap. I don't know. We'll see. It's early. Oh, next week's going to be good. I just have this feeling that Courtney Hope is going to be coming on next week. I feel like that's the week. Maybe at the end of the week, that'll be her cliffhanger. Sally Spectra Jr. coming on to Y&R. Will she have red hair? Will she have blonde hair? I hope it's red, but I could see why they would want to, if she's getting a new character, I could see why they would want to maybe transition her away from the red. But I hope that maybe some Bold and the Beautiful fans check in for that, because I know there's probably plenty of fans over at Bold and the Beautiful who are sad to have seen her go. I have been taking a little peek at Bold and the Beautiful from time to time, though, too. I mean, both soaps are good. Both soaps have their pros and cons. I want to definitely make sure to watch a little bit of them both. The Talk is coming back on Monday. I saw a commercial for The Talk. Strangely, The Talk is something that I will occasionally flip on in the afternoons, and I didn't before coronavirus. I think that there was an appeal of having some sort of new content, because the Talk was they do all of the ladies on video conference, so they were still able to talk about current events or whatever, and get it out there and get it for new content. And I'm sure that's cheaper to produce too, but it was kind of nice to have something that felt current and relevant when a lot of other stations and shows really can't do that still, I think. I'm wondering if Survivor is gonna come back. I am still watching Big Brother. That's a whole lot of kind of just boring at this point for me. I love all the people, love all the characters, but boy, the trajectory of the season has been very predictable. But yeah, I'm loving having some shows, having some new shows. I feel like we're getting back into a good place with our entertainment. But like Phyllis, I feel like I've been burned and I'm living in a state of anxiety that it's all going to get taken away from me again. Where's Nick when I need him? in a couple of ways. In a couple of ways. Where's Nick when I need him? Oh. Well, on that note, why don't you go to yrchat.com, tell me what you need this week, tell me what you like, what you don't like. Be sure to vote in that poll, because I feel like Lola and Theo have a lot of fans, but also a lot of people are just getting sick of it. So that should be a pretty interesting conversation this week, and I'll let you know how it goes when I come back here next Sunday. We'll chat about it all. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week.